If you follow the oil advice printed in your owner's manual exactly, there's a hard truth most drivers never hear. Many professional mechanics don't follow it on their own cars. Not because they're reckless, not because they don't trust engineers, but because they see what happens after 100,000 miles, when warranty promises are over and real-world wear begins. I've watched engines with perfect service records develop sludge, timing chain stretch, oil consumption, and bearing noise, all while owners swore they followed factory oil advice to the letter. Today I'm going to explain why mechanics quietly adjust oil advice, what factory recommendations are really designed for, and how following them blindly can shorten engine life, especially in modern vehicles. Stay to the very end, because the final section explains how oil advice became a marketing tool, and why that changed everything. What factory oil advice actually means, and what it doesn't. Let's clarify something important. When manufacturers give oil advice, they're talking about oil viscosity, oil specification, oil change intervals, and most drivers assume that advice is optimized for maximum engine life. It's not. Factory oil advice is optimized for warranty coverage, emissions compliance, fuel economy targets, cost of ownership during the warranty period. Those goals are not the same as keeping an engine healthy for 200,000 to 300,000 miles. That's the gap mechanics live in every day. Why factory engineers and mechanics see different worlds. Factory engineers design engines. Mechanics repair them. That difference matters. Engineers work with new engines, controlled test conditions, ideal driving cycles, predictable maintenance. Mechanics work with worn engines, short trip drivers, missed services, real-world abuse. So when mechanics say, "I wouldn't do that on my own car," they're not rejecting engineering. They're responding to reality. The truth about long oil change intervals. Modern owners' manuals often recommend 7,500 miles, 10,000 miles, even 15,000 miles between oil changes. On paper, that's safe. In the real world, mechanics see something different. What oil analysis and teardowns show. On engines that do frequent short trips, idle a lot, drive in traffic, rarely reach full oil temperature, oil doesn't just wear out, it becomes contaminated. Fuel dilution, moisture, acids. The oil may still look okay, but chemically it's compromised. That's why mechanics shorten intervals on their own cars. Not because oil is bad, but because conditions are. Why normal driving barely exists anymore. Here's a detail buried deep in owners' manuals. Most manufacturers classify driving as normal service, severe service. Severe service includes short trips, stop-and-go traffic, cold starts, idling, hot climates. Now ask yourself honestly, which category do most people fall into? Almost everyone is in severe service, even if they don't realize it. But most drivers still follow normal service oil intervals. That mismatch is where problems start. Why mechanics change oil earlier, even with synthetic. This surprises people. They say, "But I use full synthetic." Synthetic oil is better, no argument. But it still absorbs fuel, traps moisture, carries combustion byproducts. Synthetic oil resists breakdown better. It does not resist contamination. That's why mechanics often change oil earlier than recommended, especially on direct injection and turbo engines. They're not wasting oil. They're protecting hardware. The hidden role of emissions regulations. This part is uncomfortable, but important. Modern oil advice is heavily influenced by emissions rules. Thinner oil reduces internal friction, improves fuel economy, helps manufacturers meet emissions targets. Longer oil intervals reduce lifetime maintenance cost, improve marketing numbers, lower advertised ownership expenses. But thinner oil and long intervals leave less margin for error. That's fine under ideal conditions. Real life is not ideal. The myth. If it was bad, manufacturers wouldn't recommend it. This sounds logical, but it's incomplete. Manufacturers must balance cost, meet regulations, avoid warranty failures. They are not required to optimize for second or third owners, design for neglected maintenance, account for extreme short trip usage. That's where mechanics step in. They don't care about marketing numbers. They care about what survives. Why engines started failing earlier in the last 15 years. This isn't imagination. Many mechanics agree that modern engines are more sensitive. Small oil-related mistakes matter more. Margins are tighter. Why? Higher compression, turbocharging, direct injection, thinner oils, longer intervals. All of those demand precision. Factory advice assumes precision. Real drivers don't always deliver it. Be honest. Do you follow the longest oil interval listed in your manual? Yes. Number? I didn't even know there were different intervals. Comment below. Your answer already hints at how long your engine will last. Why mechanics often use a different oil viscosity than the factory. This is where a lot of drivers get uncomfortable. They'll say, if the factory recommends it, using anything else must be wrong. But mechanics don't choose oil viscosity emotionally. They choose it based on what survives long term, what factory viscosity is designed for. Factory oil viscosity is selected to meet fuel economy targets, reduce friction during standardized test cycles, comply with emissions regulations, protect the engine during the warranty period. Those goals matter, but they don't cover everything. What mechanics see in the real world. Mechanics see engines after 100,000 miles, years of short trips, heat cycles, slight neglect. Under those conditions, clearances are no longer new. Oil consumption may increase. Oil pressure margins shrink. That's why some mechanics quietly move from ultra-thin oil to the next approved viscosity range, especially in hot climates or high-mileage engines. Not to thicken oil for protection, but to restore oil film stability as the engine ages. Why this matters more in today's engines. Older engines had wider tolerances. Modern engines use ultra-tight clearances, rely on precise oil pressure, use oil as a hydraulic fluid for variable valve timing, chain tensioners, turbo lubrication. Thin oil works beautifully when conditions are perfect. When conditions drift, margins disappear. That's when mechanics intervene. The engines most affected by factory oil advice. Not all engines are equal. Some are far more sensitive to oil choices and intervals. 1. Direct injection, GDI, engines. GDI engines produce more soot, experience higher fuel dilution, accumulate oil contamination faster. That contamination ends up in timing chain areas, in piston ring packs, in oil control systems. This is why mechanics often shorten oil intervals dramatically on GDI engines, regardless of factory recommendations. 2. Turbocharged engines. Turbochargers are oil-dependent devices. They need clean oil, stable viscosity, consistent pressure. Long oil intervals plus short trips lead to carbon buildup in oil feed lines, bearing wear, premature turbo failure. Mechanics know this pattern well. That's why many change oil earlier on turbo engines, even when the manual says they don't need to. 3. Engines with timing chains, especially small chains. Timing chains don't fail because they're weak. They fail because oil pressure drops slightly. Oil gets contaminated. Hydraulic tensioners lose effectiveness. Long intervals and thin oil under severe conditions accelerate this process. When chains stretch, timing drifts, fuel economy drops. Check engine lights appear, expensive repairs follow. Mechanics see this again and again. Why oil life monitors aren't the final authority. Oil life monitors are impressive tools. They calculate oil life using RPM, temperature, load, driving patterns. But they do not measure moisture content, fuel dilution, chemical degradation. That's why two identical cars can show the same oil life percentage, have very different oil conditions. Short trip vehicles confuse oil life monitors. Mechanics understand this and compensate manually. The quiet oil mistake that kills timing chains. This one rarely gets discussed openly. It's not just long intervals. It's long intervals combined with short trips. Short trips cause fuel dilution, moisture buildup, acid formation. Those contaminants attack chain guides, tensioner seals, chain surfaces. By the time noise appears, the damage is done. Mechanics don't wait for noise. They shorten intervals before the problem starts. Why mechanics don't argue with the manual. They adapt it. This is an important distinction. Mechanics aren't saying, the manual is wrong. They're saying, the manual assumes ideal conditions. When real life deviates from those assumptions, adjustments are necessary. That's not rebellion. That's experience. Which type of engine do you drive? Naturally aspirated, turbocharged, direct injection, hybrid. Comment below. Some engines forgive factory oil advice more than others, and some absolutely do not. How oil advice became a marketing tool. This changed everything. This is the part almost no one talks about openly. Decades ago, oil advice was simple. Change oil often. Use the correct viscosity. Keep engines clean. Then competition changed. Manufacturers began advertising. Lower cost of ownership. Fewer service visits. Maintenance-free ownership. Longer oil intervals became a selling point, not just an engineering decision. It looked great on paper, but it quietly shifted risk away from the manufacturer onto the long-term owner. Warranty periods ended. Engines aged. Problems appeared later. Mechanics see the end of that story. What mechanics actually do on their own cars. This is where theory meets practice. Ask experienced mechanics what they do on their personal vehicles, and patterns emerge. They change oil earlier than the manual suggests. They consider time as much as mileage. They adjust intervals for short trips. They pay attention to oil consumption trends. They don't blindly chase the longest interval, not because they distrust manufacturers, but because they understand risk management. How to personalize oil advice for your driving. This is the most important takeaway. Factory oil advice is generic. Your driving is not. Ask yourself these questions honestly. Do I do mostly short trips? Do I idle often? Do I drive in heavy traffic? Is my engine turbocharged or GDI? Do I live in extreme heat or cold? If you answered yes to several, you're in severe service, whether the manual says it or not. That means shorter oil intervals, more attention to oil condition, less reliance on the longest recommendation, the one oil decision that matters most. This surprises people. It's not a brand, price, synthetic versus conventional. It's how long contaminated oil stays in the engine. Fresh average oil beats contaminated premium oil every time. That's why mechanics prioritize reasonable intervals, consistency, clean oil, over hype. Why following factory advice blindly can backfire. The danger isn't factory advice itself. The danger is assuming if I follow this exactly, nothing bad can happen. Oil advice assumes ideal conditions, regular long drives, proper warm-ups. If those don't match your reality, adjustments are necessary. Ignoring that mismatch is how. Timing chains stretch. Turbos fail early. Oil consumption starts. Engine sludge. Not overnight, quietly. Why this isn't anti-engineering. Let's be clear. This is not anti-manufacturer, anti-engineer, anti-modern engines. This is about context. Engineers design for averages. Mechanics live with outliers. Most people drive like outliers. That's why the gap exists. Final reality check. Factory oil advice is a baseline, not a guarantee. Mechanics don't ignore it. They interpret it. They adjust based on driving habits, engine design, real-world wear patterns. That's why their cars last. Be honest. Do you follow factory oil advice exactly, or have you already adjusted it based on experience? Follow it exactly. Adjusted slightly. I'm reconsidering after this. Comment below. Your answer might save someone else's engine, including your own. If this changed how you think about oil changes, share it with a driver who believes the manual is always right.